Welcome back to Coast Vue. I hope you're having a great day. I enjoyed that conversation with Jeff Duncan. We're lucky to have access to him. He has been a great partner to Coast Vue, and I really enjoyed working with Jeff when I was over in New Orleans. Hey, before we move over to Captain Sonny Schindler, you don't think of this time of year being a great time of the year to go fishing, but when the weather cooperates, it's really quite amazing. So anyway, we'll talk to Sonny about that in a second, but before we do that, I want to invite my partner in crime, Kyle Curley, into the conversation for a minute and just say, first of all, how you doing, my friend?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing really good. Hey, listen, I went to my two of my grandkids play soccer, and I was out at the soccer field night before last. My grandson Brody was playing, and man, it brings back so many memories. You've talked about all baseball and all the stuff that you're doing. It's a fun time of the year fun time in your life to have your kids engage in sports, isn't it?
It is. My son's playing high school soccer, and we had a game on Wednesday night, and I grossly underestimated the temperature and wind and froze. Even still had a heater in front of me, but, it was still really, really cold. I didn't talk to anybody on the way out after the game. I just scooted right on out to the car and turned the heater on.
Hey, I've been there, man. But you know what's interesting? They have these chairs. You've seen them out on the field, I'm sure, but I'm just not up to speed on this. So first of all, they have these chairs that have these like built-in rockers in them, which I think is really cool. And then they have these enclosures that people, these like clear plastic enclosures that people are getting inside of with a heater of some sort. But man, it's interesting how technology really enables parents these days, isn't it?
Yeah, I really loved the idea of that cocoon thing with the heater inside. They didn't have that when my son was playing rec ball and we was out on County Farm because those fields got really super cold.
Yeah.
At least the chair there, you had the option of, if you were lucky enough to play in one of those fields along the road and along the fence, you could get there early enough and you could just watch the game from your car.
Yeah.
So, kind of did that last 2 weeks ago in Stone, and it was raining, and I'm like, yep, not getting out of the car tonight.
Listen, there are a lot of parents and grandparents listening to this now, and they know exactly the feeling. Everyone has been there at some point along the way.
I've been there, done that. I'm talking to my sister. Her grandkids are coming up, and her grandson is playing baseball, and he's an 8U. And everything I hear from her, it's just like, yeah, been there. I'm glad I'm done with that. But high school baseball is no different. It's just a different set of politics and a different set of, hey, you've got to go buy this. And
yeah. The politics, the tension, the competitive. I don't care if you're dealing with 4-year-olds or college players. There's a little bit of that in every one of those. Unfortunately, because the younger players ought to be having a lot of fun, but the parents get pretty darn serious, don't they?
They do. The latest team that my son's playing on outside of school for baseball. Funny thing is, we don't have any of that with this current team, and it's a program, and they have different teams, and we're going to have a tryout again Saturday. It's more of a workout with coaches, and I told my son, I said, we might have to rethink your baseball career. I said, because men's national team's playing soccer at 9 a.m. and we have check-in at PRC at 8:30. So I don't know what to tell you about your baseball. And he's we go to a different tryout.
Hey, my wife and I happened to be at the last World Cup. My wife and I and my son Justin happened to be in Croatia. We happened to be in Dubrovnik, Old Town Dubrovnik. And we actually delayed leaving for a day so that we could watch the finals. Croatia in the finals. We were in Dubrovnik, Croatia, and we made friends with a pub owner overlooking Old Town Dubrovnik, and watching. They didn't win, but it didn't matter. They were there. This small country was in the finals, and it was an absolute memory that I'll never forget. I hope that the USA goes a little further and has the opportunity to feel that as well.
We have a really good shot of beating the Netherlands. They're no better than England, and we took England to a 0-0 draw. And if we can play anywhere near the intensity we played that first half in the game the other day when we advanced to beat, for whatever reason, losing my mind on who we even played. But if we can match that intensity, we could have not a problem beating the Netherlands.
Yeah, I hope they beat them. I feel the same way. Netherlands is a team that we can beat. So let's hope that we do. There's some good teams after that, though.
I want to beat them just because they spell orange with a J.
Right. Hey, I love that. Hey, let's move over to Captain Sonny Schindler now, my friend, who happens to be not on the water today, which is rare. Even this time of year, you have great opportunities to fish. But welcome back to Coast Vue, my friend.
Hey, man, how's everybody doing?
Everybody's doing really, really good. Hey, this is a great time of the year to fish, isn't it?
Dude, I'm telling you, you gotta be a little more weather sensitive, but the days we can get out, it's been fantastic. We're a little short staffed. A lot of our guys are in the woods, and they've busted their hump all year, and they work hard and they deserve it. So I'm glad our guys are out there enjoying it. But the few that stayed back, we're having a good time too. The red fishing in the marsh has been fantastic. Our speckled trout's kind of hit and miss, but the nearshore stuff has been just incredible. Sheephead, drum, still seeing a few small flounder, which that's pretty cool. And it's just weather, weather guys telling us when we can go fish.
This is the kind of time of year in Back Bay where if you don't get too much rain, which we haven't gotten too much yet, you don't get too much rain because, as you know, the specks are really sensitive to salt water. They need that salinity to be just right, that you can catch a hog. Now, you're not going to go out and get on a school of them and catch a bunch, but if you stay in it, you're going to catch fish that are over 3 pounds, and it's just a great time of year. Of course, we've got some redfish holes that we go to this time of year that are literally almost automatic. And then you got the black drum and all that. For the YouTube and Facebook audience, we didn't have an opportunity to get all the photos to Kyle, but I'm going to show you on my phone. Let me see if I can get this on here right. Yeah, there's a beautiful redfish. Is that from the marsh?
It is, and those are my river boat pilot guys, the Donners. They come a couple times a year. Unbelievable fishermen, just fun guys. They're one of those crews that, like, every time they come, something amazing or unique happens, and that was awesome. We got them pinned up in this little ditch, and they know what they're doing, so they were just pinpoint casting and picking them off left and right.
What's interesting, you take a lot of really good fishermen, and then frankly you take a lot of people who've never been fishing before, but then you develop friendships with them. They come back year after year, and over the year, they go home. Say it's even Nebraska. They go home and they practice their casting and they study on how to catch saltwater fish. And each year they get just a little bit better. And before long, they're really good. And all you got to do is just kind of captain the boat. Isn't that right?
That's right, man. That evolution is very fun to watch, especially with novices or kids. I've got. I'm pretty sure I sent you the picture, but I've got it.
Are you talking about? Let me get again.
So that's my from Austin, and they're coming along. Brother-in-law's getting really good. He's from England, so he's a little he was a little upset with that tie, but good people. So that young man right there, that's my cousin Lucan, and he reminds me a lot of myself. Just eats, sleeps, and breathes fishing, and from that picture to the last time I took him, he has been doing his homework. There they are, the Murphys. And he, son, if he's not careful, he's going to turn into a guide. And I'm going to do everything I can to talk him out of it. But he is eaten up with fishing, and he's gotten really good. He's practicing. He goes to the pier a lot, but that's where you learn. That's where you learn to cast and jig and bait and tie, and you got plenty of room to work with. He's a lot of fun. I always enjoy my little cousins when they come.
Well, listen, here's what will happen. If he doesn't become a guide, he'll get hooked to it like I did and start to do the math around, okay, what does it cost to own a boat? What does it cost to go out? And then I started running the math on that and said, okay, wait a minute, I can't do that job because that job's not going to afford me the opportunity to be able to do that. And it's interesting. It made me ambitious. It made me ambitious to want a boat. It was the wrong order, man. I didn't pursue my career first and then later start to understand how do I enjoy the fruits of my effort. I literally set out to find a job that could give me the kind of income that would allow me to own a boat and be able to afford to take it out. That's what's going to happen to him. I got another quick story I'll tell you on the other side, but this is Captain Sonny Schindler from Sure Thing Charters, just a great friend of this show, and he helps us appreciate how amazing it is to enjoy fishing in coastal Mississippi, Mississippi being the capital of the outdoors in America. I definitely believe that. We'll see you after this break. Welcome back to Coast Vue. I have my friend Captain Sonny Schindler with us, and we were just chatting about this young man that he took out, and he says he's trying to keep him, making him or convincing him not to be a charter captain, but if he chooses to be one, he's going to be a good one. He's a great young fisherman, and we were talking about setting goals. Just one quick story I want to tell you. My friend Terry Waldrop, who I've fished with or hunted with most of our adult life, we still fish and hunt together today. He lives in Gulfport. He had a lot of success in his life, incidentally, working for a company that oversees shipbuilding for the Navy and the Marines and the Army. And you've got a really important job, travels all over the United States. But one time he got a promotion, and he looked at his boss in the eye and he said, look, let's make sure we're clear about this. Don't confuse my ambition with I want to move up in this company. At the end of the day, I just want to put gas in my boat. That's what he said. Cool. He's partly kidding, but he's also partly for real. I think he had his priorities right. That's for sure. But you've met a lot of people like that over your time, haven't you?
I have, man, and it's funny the old saying, more money, more problems. Some of the happiest people I've ever met on that boat are just the salt of the earth. And your life is what you make it. If you had problems before you made a pile of money, it may be best just to step back and maybe fish a little bit more or hunt a little bit or get outside. It's very therapeutic. I don't think enough people take advantage of our wonderful our state. I don't want to say the Gulf Coast because I'm certainly biased, but going up in the Delta and hunt if you want, but get out and explore. Get out and walk, get out and enjoy it, man. That's what we're here for.
Hey, you reminded me early in my career, I was a frontline worker. I mean, I was a nobody inside a company. And I remember one of the key people in the company was walking down the hallway and said, good morning to me. And I said, good morning back. And there was a janitor happened to be mopping the floor at the time. And the janitor was whistling. And this guy looks over at the janitor and he says, God, do I envy him. And I thought, I always looked up to this guy and thinking he's a big shot in this company and whatever. I said, you envy him? He said, yeah, look at him. Just look at him. That guy is happy to be alive. Look at him. He's just happy. He's whistling. He's happy to see everybody. He has found peace in his life. You don't need to have $1 billion to find peace in your life. I never forgot this guy said that to me. Mm-hmm. I thought about it for the rest of my life. I always thought, wow, this point that you just made just a second ago, chasing the dream sometimes means finding happiness in your life. It doesn't necessarily mean financial success.
Right.
And I just never forgot that. And you see, when you say you meet a lot of people, tourists and others who come to this community who are salt of the earth, you meet a lot of people like that who saved up all year long to go out on your boat.
True.
And they are just happy to be alive, aren't they?
They are. And, we take that into consideration on our trips that we may not catch 100 fish or the limit of species, whatever, but, we want to show them the time of their life. And that's a relative term. It could be just them not being around the Barrier Islands or being in the Louisiana Marsh or being in Back Bay and showing them everything that's out there, the birds, the dolphins and the turtles. And when you catch a fish, maybe go, I'm not I'm not a marine biologist, but I know a little bit about them. So explain to them this part of this fish, or this dot on the redfish, or this tooth on the speckled trout, and give them a little bit. It just takes a couple seconds out of your day, and most of the time they remember that more than the umpteen fish or limit or whatever. I always try to get them not to measure their fun in numbers.
So we're talking to Captain Sonny Schindler from Sure Thing Charters. What's unique about their sort of group? They have multiple charter captains, multiple boats. They're able to trailer their boats. So when you think of Sonny, don't think of going offshore. Think of the ability to sort of launch where the opportunities are. This time of year we get a lot of north winds, so we may get some shallower water. They know how to deal with that. If you get a really big cold front, you don't want to be exposed. They know how to find those areas that maybe aren't as exposed, or if the situation is right, they can get you into some marshes in the backwaters where you can see tailing redfish. But you guys are really good at sort of taking advantage of the moment, aren't you?
And you got to, this time of year, you got to be flexible and mobile. Like Matt's going out today, and it's cold, it's windy, but the afternoon forecast is a whole lot better. Warming up, winds are supposed to diminish about midday, so he's not getting in the boat till 11. And they're probably going to have a great day. Make him comfortable. He's launching as close as he can to where the fish, at least where they plan on fishing. So it's that little bit that we try to make life easier on them, especially if it's first timers or people traveling. They're not going to be bringing their gigantic jackets and tons of clothes. So sometimes you gotta spend a little extra time making their trip a little more.
Yeah, you got sheephead and black drum and redfish and occasional speck this time of year, but it's a great time to light tackle fish and get a big pool. But we're out of time, Sonny. It's been a pleasure to visit with you and catch up. Hope you guys continue to have a good winter, and we'll stay in touch with you, my friend.
All right, man. Happy holidays.
This has been Sonny Schindler from Sure Thing Charters. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great day.